Hey guys, what is up? Today I come to you with my weekly review of Boku no Hero Academia Season 2, and I'm at episode 8. And in this week, we are getting close to the 8th match, and that is the match between Uraraka and Kacchan. Now, that's not happening until next episode, but we saw some matches in this week's episode, and it was pretty straightforward. The most interesting match within the first round of the last stage at the sports festival was the 7th match of Tetsu versus Kirishima. But before I get into that, the other matches that happened before, we know that Deku won against Shinso during the first match, so of course he's moving on to the second round. And then the second match that happened was Kaminari versus Shizaku. Now, she's a girl whose hair is vines and they can extend and defend and all of that other stuff. So basically their match ended within a second because Kaminari, if he uses his electromagnetics or electricity too much, we know what happens. He short circuits himself, and therefore he's not able to protect himself. So she instantly beat him, and we didn't have a third match, which I don't know if they did it exactly like that in the manga, if they cut out the third match, or if they're just doing that in the anime for time constraint. But there was no third match, so we went instantly into the fourth match with Ida versus May, which was easily the most hilarious match of the first round, because for 10 minutes straight, May was just demonstrating her technology and everything that she has created, or her babies, to the big companies in hopes that they will see what she's capable of creating. We also find out what her quirk is, which is zoom. If she focuses enough, she's able to see like 5 kilometers. Don't ask me to find how much that is in yards or anything. I do not know, but she's able to see quite far with her quirk, and she basically was using Ida for the entirety of their match and to just demonstrate her creations. And she basically walked off at the end of it. After demonstrating everything that she had, she just walked off, and Ida was the one to win by default. And he felt really bad. He felt like he was used, which he was, because May basically used his honesty and, his good character against him, even though she is an honest person. But by all means, if it means to showcase what she's capable of creating, she'll use just about anybody or do by any means necessary. Then we got to the 6th match, which was Tokoyami versus Yaoyorozu. So we know Tokoyami's ability is dark matter, where he's able to manifest this dark shadow out of his body. But because it's like daylight outside, his defenses and offenses are not really that high. And of course, Yaoyorozu, she's able to create anything that she has studied, so long as it's something that she's able to create. So even though her ability is a pretty good one at that, her quirk, and she's not able to gather her thoughts in one piece, she cannot defend herself or attack with the offense, and she was easily knocked out of balance by Tokoyami's dark matter. And of course, she was defeated, and she was very frustrated, and you can understand her frustration because she wasn't able to gather herself in order to come up with multiple ideas on how to face against Tokoyami. So he's the one that moves on to the second round, and she is defeated. We got to the 7th match, even though that one was kind of interrupted because we saw through the entirety of the episode where Uraraka, she was distressed, and we know why, because her match with Kacchan is making her very worried. I think anybody that's going against Kacchan will be very worried, and you can tell both by their characters, just they couldn't be any more different from each other. We know that Kacchan is this overconfident, it's not even confident, this overconfident person who is very explosive, and it fits very much with his quirk. And the fact that Uraraka, when you look at some of the characters' quirks, they kind of fit their character and their personality. So for Kacchan's, fire, brimming with confidence and boastfulness. And then with Uraraka, where her zero gravity, she has like a light, airy feeling to her. She's a serious person when it gets down to certain aspects, but overall she's very friendly, and she doesn't let things get to her all that much, and she lets things go. So I find that their quirks fit each character. But at the same time, my guess for these two characters is that Kacchan is going to win his battle. He's going to win his match against Uraraka. But going back to the 7 match, knowing that Tetsu and Kirishima, their quirks are very similar to each other. The only difference is how they look, with Tetsu looking more like metal, and with Kirishima looking like his flesh, but it's more hardened. They both end up in a draw. They were battling out, duking it out, and I really wish they didn't cut in between scenes for that, and seeing Uraraka being comforted by Deku and Ida, even though that was needed. But I was really interested in their match, and it came out to a draw. So they said once they wake up and recover from their injuries, then they will decide who is the winner by like something simple like arm wrestling. Possibly we won't even get to see that happen, and who gets to move on to the second round. But it was the most interesting match before the 8-1 starts. So the 8th is about to start, and we're going to see that next week. And going back to what I said about how Kacchan is going to win, is because we've seen several characters with their abilities, and basically their abilities are very good for both offense and defense. And Kacchan's ability is one example. Of course, we have Deku, we have Yorozu, we have Tokuyami, we have Todoroki. There are several characters whose quirks are capable to be used for both defense and offense. But when you think of Uraraka's ability, it's more fitting for, especially if she's surrounded by various objects, or she's in a group. In terms of her actually attacking someone, it can actually prove to be quite difficult, because she's not a combative person like Kacchan. She's someone who's more on the defense, someone that can protect herself. But in terms of actual fighting skills, I don't think she has that much, or she's not as diverse and well equipped in that area. So that's the reason why I feel like, it's going to be an interesting match. But at the same time, I'm like, Kacchan is going to win that, and he's going to move on to the second round. But I'm not saying that Uraraka is not going to give her all and come out of this. Yes, she's going to be frustrated that she lost, but she went up against one of the best students within the academy, within the hero course, so she can walk out with a little pride at the end of the match. I'm just guessing, just based on their abilities, based on who they are and how the outcome will be. But it's going to be the match to watch for next week before we move on to the second round. Of course, it's most likely that this round is cut in half, so we're going to possibly see 8 contestants going into the second round, and it's going to keep cutting down until we are at the last match, the last round within the sports festival, and we'll see who wins the sports festival overall. But if you guys saw this week's of Boku no Hero Academia Season 2 Episode 8, do tell me in the comment section below on how you felt about this week's episode, and who do you believe is going to win during the 8 match, and if you can give your reasons why. Do you believe Uraraka will win? Why so? Or do you believe Kacchan will win? Why so? And the links are in the description box as always, so you guys go check that out. And I'm Kacchan of Anime Legends Podcast, and I will see you guys later. Bye!